Greetings, you two. So I was dozing on a boat on the Atlantic Ocean yesterday, coming back from a whale watch, because I can doze or sleep pretty much anywhere. And while I was in this kind of half awake state, I found myself lightly touching into the dream world. Um, and I had this image, not surprisingly, considered the circumstances, of the deep ocean. And it was below the point of light, so it was dark. But at the ocean floor in the spot I was at in the dream, and I was moving towards it in the dream, um, was this green glowing crevice. Like a mile wide and long, and like a mile long and like 100 yards wide. This just thin ribbon of green glowing light. And as I got near, I could see that it was at the top of a cavern. And it was very, very large. So it was a cavern, you know, maybe hundreds of miles in diameter. Just massive underwater subterranean cavern glowing green, at least from where my position was. Maybe that was just another colored light traveling through the ocean water to me. Maybe it wasn't, because I was in an area with a lot of plankton, so maybe I was kind of filtering that through my subconscious. Um, and I didn't actually get through the crevice before I woke up, because again, it was a very light doze. But it got me thinking, what could we do with that realm? Now, one of the most obvious things is you could just use cerulean sea and explain this underwater realm, and it is an underwater realm, it's just full of water, and there's something fantastical down below in that realm. Or you do, we're doing high fantasy here. It is an air pocket, magically preserved, and that crevice is the roof, and you can pass through it if you know where to find the right spot. And suddenly you're in the Underdark, except it's not dark, it's very glowy, which is what a trope used by Verne. Phosphorescence, for some weird reason, it looked just like daylight, but what a surprise. I watched a movie yesterday, it was called Unknown Worlds, which was about trying to find a haven for humanity in the subterranean caverns on Earth, which they were convinced, or the main characters of the film were convinced, these caverns existed and were linked by underground tunnels, and the center of the Earth was supposed to be a habitable zone. It was not actually liquid metal. Even some of the film mentioned, isn't the center of the Earth liquid iron? And they said, hoo hoo hoo, not really. And it was very silly. And they actually never got to the center of the world. They went to like 2,300 miles. 2,300 miles is not deep enough to get to the center of the Earth. And of course, they find the cavern down there, and it's full of light. And then they inexplicably find a way to get to the surface in no time at all, even though it took them ages to get down there. But you could do the Vernian type of world with dinosaurs and lost civilizations, or aliens, or extra dimensional beings. It would be a great location if you wanted to drop like a Rift style world in your D&D campaign, but you didn't want to run the risk of polluting or having your game overrun, I should say, by Rift type races and technology, what have you. It could be Atlantis. It could be the continent of Mu. So there's a lot of things that we could do with this. And this happened yesterday. I really haven't thought about it much. I was kind of coming into this video with a clean slate, so I didn't want to impress too much my own thoughts on this, because I really want to see what we can do with this collaboratively. What can we create? This idea of the green deep. So tell me, if your characters were to find this in your campaign, what would they find? What would you want them to find in your world?